I'm Mike Ryan. Today we're going to talk about turquoise from Courtland, Arizona. Of all the turquoise that we cover in our three-part history of turquoise in America, the turquoise from Courtland is probably the most important and yet at the same time the least recognized of any of the turquoise. In fact, a lot of our viewers probably don't even know Courtland turquoise at all, but it played an important role in the early development of turquoise in the United States. I'd like to start by looking at a photo of Nicholas C. Ranscomb and to acknowledge a man who I think is one of the most important contributors to turquoise in America that is in the history. And I'd like to start by reading a bit from Turquoise in America, Part 1, The Great American Turquoise Rush, 1890 to 1910. And if you want all the details of this history, which is a really fascinating story, I really encourage you to pick up Part 1 and enjoy the read. The turquoise mining district, this is speaking of Courtland, was formed around the late 1870s, most likely named as such because of signs of early Indian turquoise mining activities. The Great American Turquoise Rush was driven by many people performing different services. Some located turquoise claims, while others managed and operated the mines. Others were responsible for processing the rough turquoise and selling a finished product to the jewelry trade. The intent of investors in each of the geographic areas, and this is what's included in the book, we talk about in New Mexico, turquoise in the Cerrillos area near Santa Fe, turquoise in the southern part of New Mexico in Grant County, and in this instance, turquoise in southern Arizona. The intent was to gain control of every aspect of this process. Of all those who participated in the effort to locate the turquoise claims, no one had a greater influence on the development of successful turquoise operations than Nicholas C. Ranscomb. His obituary from the Silver City Enterprise of May 7th, 1909, presents a solid picture of the man. Deceased was quiet and unassuming and was typical of the taciturn, steady, determined man of the mountains, ever searching for mineral wealth, a type to whom the West owes a debt it can never repay, and a type that is fast disappearing with the onrush of Eastern civilization. He is reported to have located more mining claims and sunk more prospect holes than any man in the Southwest. So, thank you, Nick. After the period covered in the Great American Turquoise Rush, there continued to be small attempts at extracting turquoise in the area. And we covered that in Turquoise in America, Part 2. And one period which is really of interest is the period when Lionel Herget had some claims in the Courtland area. He was quite a character, and you can read about that in Turquoise in America, Part 2. He is also associated with Menlis Winfield, who we know from turquoise at Villa Grove, Colorado, and then even more well known for turquoise from Lone Mountain, Nevada. After that period in the 80s, Pat and Judy Gushurst attempted to preserve the area by getting the state of Arizona to make that into a state park or recognize it as a state facility, but they weren't successful in that effort. Nick Ranscomb sold many of his claims to the Azure Mining Company, which you'll know from Turquoise in America Part 1, was the premier developer of turquoise in New Mexico and whose president was Giulio Armani. And David Stryker bought the George, which was a well-known turquoise claim in Courtland, from the Armany heirs. In 2017, Michael Oster acquired about 70 acres of patent land, which is private land, and also several individual claims in the Courtland area. Now, he, I think, also wanted to try to preserve the area for cultural, important historical reasons, but he tried to finance that with pay digs and tours, and I believe he ran into some real problems with liability issues and also with regulators. You know, it's kind of hard to take children onto these claims into these mines, and you have these regulators like the Mining Safety Health Agency, MSHA, who really are kind of concerned when you've got families out in these mining areas. So I don't believe that is in operation now. So finally, I think everybody would like to take a look at some of the beautiful turquoise from Courtland, Arizona. And we see that right now. And then we can also take a look at a photo of the Turquoise Hill where the Avalon claim was. And this was the area that Pat and Judy Gushurst had worked. We can see their home here in the photo. And finally, we get a look at looking out to the northwest. These were the mountains that were where Cochise hid out, the famous Apache leader. So I hope you've enjoyed our taking a look at the important contributions of Courtland Turquoise.